Yo, Philly, what is up? Welcome into the show. You're watching Philadelphia Eagles Now by Chat Sports. I'm Chase Sr., and we have a loaded show on the Eagles Now rundown today. A big Adam Schefter update on a key free agent for Philadelphia after the Birds won the Super Bowl, and that player played a huge role in what the Eagles did on the offensive side of the football during the 2024 season. Lane Johnson issuing an important statement about his future, and I'm going to explain why Milton Williams, 2 sacks in the Super Bowl, dominating that Chiefs defensive line all over Patrick Mahomes, is set to cash in big time in free agency. Before we take care of all of that, first order of business, subscribe to the channel for the most elite Eagles coverage right here on YouTube. But a little bit later today, on this Wednesday, February 19th, myself, producer Chip, we'll be live on Eagles Now. Show starts at 5:30 p.m. Eastern, 2:30 p.m. Pacific. Also a programming reminder and alert, we just got confirmation from the NFL that we're headed to the scouting combine. So great coverage to come next week as well. Subscribe, join us, and join the Eagles Now movement. What is the future of Eagles right guard Mekhi Becton? This is a big offseason storyline for this ball club, considering the importance that Howie Roseman puts along the offensive line and the defensive line, of course, but how he played in 2024 and the role that he played with the Eagles pass game. But of course, Saquon Barkley setting the record for the most rushing yards compiled by a running back in a single season in the history of the National Football League. And what a path for Becton here this season, but also in his career, from how he started to how his career seemed to go downhill and how he revitalized that career this year. He was the 11th overall pick by the Jets in 2020 out of Louisville, and at his very unique size, he was looked at as a polarizing prospect during the draft that year. Had a really good year playing offensive tackle for New York. Then after that, he really struggled with his play, with his injuries, with his confidence, and the Jets were a disaster. He played 17 games combined over his next 3 years after that good rookie season. And with his value tanking, he signed a 1-year, $2.75 million deal with Philadelphia to be a backup swing tackle. Tyler Steen gets hurt. Eagles try him at right guard, something that Nick Sirianni had proposed to offensive line coach Jeff Stoutland. Never turned back. And he turned into a stud right guard for Philadelphia. This season, overall Pro Football Focus grade of 75.2. That was 21st among 135 guards. Run blocking grade of 74.7. Those top 2 numbers, very good. A solid pass blocking grade at 63.6. It obviously helped him that Lane Johnson was to his right, Cam Jurgens was to his left, but he gave up 3 sacks, 2 hits, and 25 pressures en route to having a really good season for him. And at 6'7", 363 pounds, the frame, the size, he's an immovable object. He played a huge role in the run game success for Philadelphia because Saquon Barkley ran it a lot right behind him and to his side. And he was a perfect example of what a product can be when you go to and graduate from Jeff Stoutland University. Stoutland is the best offensive line coach in the National Football League. It is not even close, and he developed the heck out of Mekhi Becton. Now, you look ahead to the offseason. What's next for him, right? He found a home in Philadelphia and a franchise that has embraced him, where he developed, where he turned into an excellent player, where he enjoyed playing, cried when the Eagles punched their ticket to the playoffs, cried after they won the Super Bowl. I asked him about that. We're going to play that interview coming up here in just a moment. But now he has an opportunity to cash in and make a lot of money. Will he depart the place where he found his home just to get some money, or will he stay? Here's what Adam Schefter had to say this morning on 97.5 The Fanatic in Philadelphia. He said there could be a team out there that throws silly money at him and makes it a moot point. Absolutely, that's what free agency is about. But I think he's smart enough after what he went through in New York and what he went through in Philadelphia this year to recognize, you know what? This is pretty good. I'm in a great spot with a great line and a great coach. Let's continue this. I might not quite get as much as I might in another city, but it's going to be more valuable and beneficial for me to be here. So I think there's a real chance that he winds up staying. My message to Mekhi Becton, stay home big ticket. You're on a great offensive line, a great offense, with a great coaching staff that has maximized you. I think you have found your natural position. That's guard. It's not tackle. And in the lead up to the Super Bowl, I sat down with Becton for a couple of minutes. I asked him what this year has been like in Philadelphia and whether or not at that time he wants to return to the Eagles in free agency. And here's what he had to say.
It's been a great year for you with the Eagles, and some could call it career-altering. Just curious, going back to your decision to come here in free agency, what played into that?
Stout, he played a big reason into it. My agent, he played a big reason into it. He gave me a lot of, good things about this organization, this program. And then when I went and met those guys in person, it was just all love. So, once you experience that, you don't want to go nowhere else.
I was talking to Jeff Stoutland and Nick Sirianni the other day, and they talked about the conversation that they had during training camp when they were like, all right, let's try Mekhi Becton out at right guard. What do you remember about those conversations? And obviously it's led to a huge year for you.
I honestly don't remember. I don't remember talking to Coach at all, Coach Sirianni. I remember Kelsey saying something about it one day during OTAs or something. He just said how do you feel about playing guard? And I was like, if it's gonna help the team, I'll do it because we already got once again Jordan and Lane at tackle, so I'm not gonna be able to play there. So if that's what it takes to help the team, I'll do it.
What is it about Jeff Stoutland where he's able to really maximize players and coach everybody up? Because it seems as though whether it's a star or it's a backup, when they're plugged in, they're ready to go.
He always prepares us every week as if we're the starters. He always tells us prepare as if we're the starters. So he hammers that in our mind, and that's just the way we live. The way we meet, the way we practice. Everybody's just ready to go no matter what.
Lastly, what has this year with the Eagles meant to you? You're obviously emotional once you guys punch your ticket to the playoffs. That's something that you had never experienced before.
It means a lot, man. It's fun to actually play meaningful football. I haven't played meaningful football since high school, so that was just a big moment for me at that point in time, and I just need us to finish it.
Would you like to come back to the Eagles?
I don't know what the future holds. If that's in the cards, I wouldn't be mad about it.
And hopefully it works out to a point where Mekhi Becton is back in Philadelphia for a good price tag in 2025 and beyond to continue to play alongside some great offensive linemen for this terrific Eagles offensive line. So with that, I ask you this. What say you? Which Eagles free agent is a must-sign for the Birds this offseason? Let me know down in the comment section. Only getting started on today's show, but I first want to say thank you to ZBiotics for making today's show possible. You can get 15% off at zbiotics.com/chatsports or scan this QR code right here to my left. ZBiotics is the maker of the world's first genetically engineered probiotic, your first drink of the night for a better tomorrow. It's engineered by a team of PhD microbiologists. ZBiotics Pre-Alcohol is a probiotic drink that breaks down the byproduct of alcohol, which is responsible for rough mornings after drinking. Here's how you use it. You have pre-alcohol for the best results. Make pre-alcohol your first drink of the night. Step number 2, drink responsibly. Pace yourself, hydrate, and get a good night's sleep. Step 3, enjoy tomorrow. Wake up feeling refreshed and ready to take on the next day. It was invented by PhD scientists to tackle those rough mornings after drinking. And when you drink, alcohol gets converted into a toxic byproduct in the gut. It's this byproduct, not dehydration, that's to blame for your rough next day. First time I tried ZBiotics was before an Eagles watch party a couple of years ago. As you know, we like to have a lot of fun here on the program. The next day, I was feeling good, able to knock it out of the park with our content. So go to zbiotics.com/chatsports. You can scan the QR code on your screen right now to get 15% off your first order when you use the code chatsports at checkout. You can also sign up for a subscription using our code so that you can stay prepared no matter the time or the occasion. It is backed with the 100% money-back guarantee. So if you're unsatisfied for any reason, they'll refund your money. No questions asked. Remember, head to zbiotics.com/chatsports. Use the code chatsports at checkout for 15% off. Thank you, ZBiotics, for sponsoring this episode and our good times. We move forward on today's Philadelphia Eagles now. What is the future of Lane Johnson? I'll tell you what, his speech at the Eagles championship parade on Friday. One of the best among all people who gave a speech at the parade right in front of the Art Museum in Philadelphia off the Benjamin Franklin Parkway. And this is his second parade speech. And Lane Johnson becoming just a legendary Philadelphia Eagle, him hoisting his second Lombardi trophy of his storied career. And I love this image, right? 1.5 million Eagles fans estimated to be in Philadelphia for the championship parade last Friday, including myself and producer Chip. A lot of you saw our content that we put up here on the channel. And here's Lane Johnson, Super Bowl 59 champs jacket, and then so many people there to witness all of the speeches. I also love this photo too. Lane Johnson, Jalen Hurts, Brandon Graham, all etching their stone for just being historical Philadelphia Eagles throughout franchise history. You have BG and Lane, 2 Lombardi trophies, and then Jalen Hurts bringing home his first championship to the great city of Philadelphia, including a Super Bowl MVP trophy as well. And a lot of people have theorized and speculated about the future of Lane Johnson. I talked about this the other day here on Eagles Now, just wanted to expand upon it, but in case you missed it, Lane Johnson tweeted this out a couple of days ago when he tweeted out his parade speech and some of the highlights from that great Friday, one of the best days of my life. I know a lot of you can relate to that. And he said, "Nothing but love the past 12 years. I'm looking forward to many more years to come. Love y'all, Philly." You read that and you're like, oh, Lane Johnson wants to be and play with and for the Philadelphia Eagles for the foreseeable future. Ladies and gentlemen, I can't emphasize this enough. This is massive news for the Eagles. Since being selected out of Oklahoma in the 2013 draft, Lane Johnson has been arguably the best right tackle of this generation, a mainstay for this Eagles offense. And at 34 years old, he's still playing elite football. In the regular season and in the playoffs, he was terrific. You look at the Pro Football Focus grades here to my right. Overall PFF grade of 85.4 in 2024. Pass blocking grade of 88.1. Run blocking grade of 80. His playoff numbers in these 3 categories, identical or even better. He gave up no sacks this year and only 1 hit of quarterback Jalen Hurts. And we've seen offensive tackles, when they take care of their body, be able to play a long time. They age well. And Lane Johnson is really taking care of his body as his career has progressed. He's taking care of some of those ankle injuries. And when you see him up close and personal, and I've been around him a few times, he's not like fat or pudgy. This guy is lean. He is built. He is strong. And that's why he's turned into such a great protector along this Eagles offensive line. And him talking about his future, it made me think back to in the lead up to Super Bowl 57 when I was in Arizona and I asked his close friend Jay Glazer about his future because at that time, Lane was playing on one leg. He couldn't shake these ankle issues. And there were some people who were saying Lane Johnson might not be able to play for a long time. He might call it quits here soon. Jay Glazer at that time said, I don't think that Lane is going to call it quits anytime soon. And it looked as though he was money with that prediction.
No, I don't see Lane retired, man. It's just like the guy's on one leg, and what he was able to do to both on one leg is, I think he's just now going into that kind of that area of his career where, Andrew Whitworth, people finally appreciated and went to the Rams. He just went to that next level, which he was always at that level, but in Cincinnati he was kind of hidden. Lane is now being regarded as the best tackle in the league, and I think he's going to thrive there for a while.
And you want to measure a player with the impact that they have on their team. The Eagles are 102-55-1 when Lane Johnson plays in his career. They are 15-23 without him. It's not only the sustained level of great play, the wins and losses, the Super Bowls. It's all of that combined which makes Lane Johnson an all-time Philadelphia Eagle. So we've talked about the future of Mekhi Becton. We've talked about the future of Lane Johnson. Now I want to round out with this. After a 2-sack performance in Super Bowl 59 against the Chiefs, Milton Williams, a 2021 third-round pick for Philadelphia, who was developed so quickly before our eyes, could cash in big time in NFL free agency. And I think that Williams is setting himself up to be one of the marquee free agents among all free agents in the National Football League. And I think he's going to cash in potentially between $18 and $20 million per season. Here's what Milton Williams had to say about his future. Obviously, I'd love to be back in Philadelphia, but right now, I'm just trying to enjoy this moment with my teammates. The rest of that is going to take care of itself. I'm pretty sure I'll end up where I'm supposed to be. I'll just put that in God's hands. Just being in the right situation, valuing what I bring to the table. Obviously, I want to raise, but I want to win. I like this feeling of winning and being on top of the world, so definitely I want to try to keep that situation as close to this as possible. And Milton Williams is going to have his opportunities to do that. Sometimes we will see players just cash in and go to a bad team. They're happy with getting that check. They don't win a lot. Clearly, Milton wants to get paid and he wants to win. And I think he's going to have an opportunity to do both. It just depends on where he goes. And if he comes back to Philadelphia at the right price tag, he can continue to be a part of this really stout and young, dominant Eagles defensive line. And a lot of people don't realize just how good he was, and that's a reason why I think that he's going to get a bag in free agency, because in 2024, Milton Williams had a pass rush grade of 90.4. That was second among 219 defensive tackles. He logged 40 pressures, which was 19th among all players at that position. 28th in 28 hurries. That was 20th at the position, but look at his snaps played. 500 snaps. That was 63rd among defensive tackles and 302 pass rush snaps. That was 57th. He had 5 sacks in the regular season, 2 more in the Super Bowl. He's only 25 years old with limited tread on his tires, special skills with the explosiveness, the quickness, the physicality at that size. And when he gets this new contract, he's going to be a marquee player. His snaps are going to go up. So naturally, I think his production is going to explode, which is why I think another team is going to give him a ton of money. And unfortunately, that's why my prediction is Milton Williams is not a Philadelphia Eagle in 2025, because his play has led to him outpricing himself with this team. It's the unfortunate reality. Luckily for Philadelphia, you still have Jordan Davis and Moro Uzomah at that defensive tackle spot, and it's a deep defensive tackle class. Be sure to give me a follow on X and Instagram at Chase_Senior. In addition to all of the long-form content that I put up here on YouTube, I put out so much Eagles coverage and content on my social media pages, and it allows you to stay in the know with the birds and everything that I'm up to.